Hello, my name is Patricia. In today's speech, I'm going to talk about two of the major health illnesses that are most common in um, most of the young adults today, and that is anxiety and depression. Anxiety affects around 40 million young adults, which most of them are 18 and over. This categorizes to two different types of anxiety, which is generalized anxiety, which is just getting anxious over anything, and social anxiety, which is the fear of being in public settings. Generalized anxiety affects around 6.8 million adults, those being more women than men. Social anxiety affects 25 million young adults, and those being both women and men. According to these statistics are according to the Anxiety and Depression Association of America. As someone with anxiety, it is very difficult to be in public settings by yourself. Simple things as going to the gym alone, going to the library alone, or walking to class alone is very difficult for me because I hate the feeling of walking around by myself and feeling like somebody's staring at me and judging me. This happens mainly when I go to the gym alone and I'm using a certain equipment and people just stare at me, and it's the feeling of not knowing whether they're staring at me because I'm doing the exercise wrong or they're trying to figure out how to use it. In my lifetime, I've had 3 panic attacks. Panic attacks are onset intense fear or discomfort. Some symptoms of a panic attack are shortness of breath, tightness in your chest, or just small chest pains, lightheadedness, or the fear of dying. My first panic attack was about 2 years ago when me and my brother went to Pooler to go to the outlets, and on our way home I just started to get a lot of discomfort in my chest, and I didn't know if it was a heart attack, but I was thinking to myself, I'm too young to have a heart attack, so it can't be that. Then the pain subsided, and then we just went home. My second panic attack was in June, early May. I had just got off work the night before at like 3 in the morning, and my sister and her kids were over, and my nephew was walking around the house yelling and laughing early in the morning, and I woke up and I was very upset because I was tired. And then me and my mom got in a small argument. Then about a few hours after that, I started to get chest pains, and then every time I would breathe in, it would hurt. Then that's when I got an anxiety attack again, and this time I actually went to the emergency room to get checked out, and the doctor told me that I had anxiety, but normally that was something that I could control, which some people can control their anxiety, and some people feel like they cannot, but there are treatment options for that. And my most recent anxiety attack was after my car wreck, when my car finally stopped spinning and I finally took in what was going on, and I started to hyperventilate, and then the tightness in my chest came again. And I didn't calm down till one of the other ladies that was in the car accident came over to my car and started to tell me to calm down, that it's okay to just relax. Next thing I'm going to talk about is depression. Depression isn't just the feeling of feeling sad, it's the feeling of feeling empty or not looking forward to do anything. This is called anhedonia, which is the inability to take pleasure into things. Depression in men is very common, but men are always seen as weak or not able to show their emotions, because that's just a stereotype men always have, is that they're supposed to be the strong ones. They can't show that they're sad. Most symptoms in men whenever they're developing depression is that they're irritable, tired, and angry. Most of these men result to drug substance abuse, which is normally alcohol or drugs, to feel like that is their getaway. Women are usually, their symptoms are usually sadness, guilt, and worthlessness. And for women are usually seen as like, they can be sad, but people usually blame that on their monthly cycles, or that just being the way women are, which is not true. According to Andrea Balinson's book, Depression, Anxiety, and Bipolar Disorders, men are typically not the ones who usually look for help whenever they feel like they're developing depression. And they just think it's just them. I have never been in a situation where I have felt depressed to the point where I would take my own life. I've developed a mild case of depression after my car accident, because after that, I felt like I had so many near life death experiences, and that was one of the most surreal moments. After that, about a week after my wreck, I didn't feel like I wanted to do anything. I didn't want to go to school or work. It was very difficult for me. And that's in my speech, and I just want to bring more awareness to mental health illnesses, because some of these are not taken as seriously as they should be.